Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you some books that I personally want to reread in the year 2016. And I saw a couple booktubers doing this sort of video last month and I was inspired to make my own pile. I personally love rereading books. I know there's so many people out there that are like, I read a book once and then I'm done, and it's like, no, like I love going back and rereading my favorite books, and that's partly, why I love collecting books, because it's so easy. I can just be like, oh, this book, yeah, want to reread it, okay, I got it. But yes, I have compiled a list of 7 books that I would like to reread during the year 2016, and I'm going to show them to you now. First book that I have to show you guys is a book that I literally have not read in 5 years, and that is 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher. And this book I read way before BookTube, way before I was like an avid reader, and I read it when I was in, I think, 7th grade, so really long time ago. I'm a senior in high school now, some of you may know that, so 7th grade, that's like a while ago, at least it feels like it, because I honestly can't even remember what this book is about. I hear so many people on BookTube talking about this book, being like, I love 13 Reasons Why, and I'm like, me too, but like, I read this book when I was 12, like, I really don't remember a ton from it. I can kind of remember the basic premise, it's about this boy who one day finds this box of cassette tapes sitting on his front porch that are from this girl that has recently passed away, committed suicide, whom he had a crush on, and he listens to the cassette tapes and all that kind of stuff happens, but I don't remember tons of details from this book. Also, I believe that this book is to become a Netflix original series soon, produced by Selena Gomez. I don't know if that's a huge rumor or if it's true, so that obviously that would be cool, but I want to read this, get it fresh in my mind in case that does happen. But either way, I just really want to reread this book because it's been so long and I really remember loving it. So yes, that is the first book that I would like to reread. Next one is a book that is very near and dear to my heart, one of my all-time favorite books, the book that made me discover BookTube, and it's basically like in my top 5 favorite books. I love it so much, and that is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. And I read this book in either 2012 or 2013, and every single year since then, except for last year, I reread the book multiple times because it's one of my favorites. Last year I got a little caught up in things. There were so many other books that I was discovering that I just didn't have time to go back and reread this book, and I love rereading this book. It's so good. It's like my favorite, like I just said, and I love these characters, I love this world, and I love the book. I want to reread it. And Travis Maddox, my #1 book boyfriend, is in this book, and I feel bad. I haven't visited him in like a year, so I should really get on that. But yes, Beautiful Disaster, I definitely want to do. And also, because a lot of you guys are like, why don't you have a Beautiful Disaster book talk? Like, that's something you should do. So maybe I'll reread this, so then all of the things will be fresh in my mind, and I can do an actual book talk on this one for you guys, because I know so many of you have been asking because y'all know how much I love this book. So yes, definitely want to reread this one as well. Next one is kind of random, but it is The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. I read this whole series last year in a span of 2 days while I was stuck at home because there was a blizzard happening outside. I loved this book because it really took me out of like what was truly happening with the weather, and I felt like I was on a beach because this book takes place in the summertime, and I absolutely loved this book. I thought it was so fun, and I have a whole book talk about it. You can go check it out down below, but I just loved this book so much, and I remember reading it and being like, I'm so sad it's over, like I want to read it again. So I definitely want to pick this one up again this year. Maybe I'll just read the first one, maybe I'll read the whole series, but I just really loved this book, so I definitely would love to reread it. Next book I have is another all-time favorite that I have not read in quite a few years, and that is The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. And this is quite a random favorite of mine. Many people, when I'm like, oh yeah, these are all my favorites, and then I also love The Outsiders, they're like, oh, really? Like, because it's so different from what I usually read. This book has to do with social class and this boy who, him and his friends and his family kind of consider themselves the greasers, and then there's this other social group called the Socs, and they're kind of the more high-class high schoolers, and they get into a lot of altercations, and it's just a really good book about like friendship and family and love and trust and just brotherhood, I guess you could say, and I just love this book so much. I love all the characters. This was an assigned reading book for me when I was in 8th grade, and I absolutely fell in love with it. You could probably ask anybody that was in my 8th grade class, and if they remember me by something, it's either this book or my love for One Direction and Degrassi, so definitely true that I love this book. So yeah, that's totally a thing, but I definitely love this book and would love to reread it this year. Next book is kind of random, but it's by my favorite author, and that is Hopeless by Miss Colleen Hoover. I absolutely love this book. I've read it I think 3 times now, and it's one of my all-time favorites. I don't think I had a chance to reread it last year, so I would love a chance to reread it this year. All of my favorite authors, I love rereading their books. Like I said before, I'm the type of person that if I have favorite books, favorite authors, I want to reread their books multiple times. That's how much I love them. I would rather reread the same books forever and ever than just have like books that I read once like and then never touch again, because I just love the books that I love so much. So I'm like not speaking English, but I love this book so much. I think I consider this like my favorite Colleen Hoover book. It's one that I love, it's near and dear to my heart, and I just really want to reread it, so I'm very excited to do so. Next book that I have is my favorite read from 2015, and if you watched my 2015 favorite books video, you probably know what it is, and that is Every Last Word by Tamara Ireland Stone. And this book was very special to me. I loved it so much. It was so good. Like I said, my favorite book of 2015. And the reason I want to reread this one is just because I remember finishing the book, like closing the last page, putting it down on my lap, and being like, okay, I really want to read it again, like right now, but that's really sad, so I'm not going to do it. But like, I really want to read this book again, like right now. That's how much I loved it. I just wanted to reread it again and again and again. And I've only read it once, and I need to read it again because I loved it so much. I have a full book talk on this. It's going to be linked down below, so definitely go check it out. But yeah, I love this book so much. Actually, right now, my best friend is reading this book. I recommended it to her. I was like, you need to read this book, and she's reading it, and she's been texting me like every day, like, oh my god, this scene, and like, oh my god, this happened, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, I remember that, like, I want to reread it too. So yeah, I'm really excited to reread this book during the year, and I'll definitely let you guys know when I do so. And the last book that I want to reread during the year 2016 is kind of random. It's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell, and this is a book that I think I read in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, and I really loved it, and I really related to the main character. But when I think about this book, I don't remember a lot of it, but I just remember enjoying it. But I think I was in a little bit of a weird headspace when I read this book. I remember it taking me a really long time to get through, but I did enjoy it. So I would love to have a chance to just kind of reread it and just get in the chapters again. And I really want to read this, and I need to read Carry On too, so that's something I should work on. But I do want to read this book again just because I remember like loving it, but not enjoying it as much as I feel like I could have. So definitely want to reread this book during the year. Okay guys, so those are the 7 books that I hope to reread during the year of 2016. Let me know if you have any books that you want to reread this year. I definitely encourage you guys to reread some of your favorite books during the year. If you have any in mind, definitely let me know what they are down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you've not already, and follow me on all my social medias that will be listed down below. That's Instagram and Twitter, which are both at LovelyLikeLaura, just like my username, and you can also add me as a friend on Goodreads. But other than that, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Bye!
Hard like a rock, cold like stone, white like a diamond, black